What's this? There you go, bud. We're waiting to be on a panel here. It's gonna be me, Joel, Ellie from Coco Press, Grant, 3D Musketeer, and Pezliz. So can't wait. What's up, Carrot? How's everything going, man? You're here or you're here online? Mr. Exaggeration, what's up? Online, gotcha. How's everything going, Carrot? You good? What's up, Bits and Pieces? Couldn't make it to RMRRF, had to cancel. I know. I heard everything. That's why I said I hope everything's okay. Rightfully so, you missed it.
Only the hard questions.
No, actually, it's supposed to be good today. It's supposed to be like in the 70s almost, or high 60s at least. So we're just waiting for everybody to come here. We're going to be doing our panel. I think it's just more or less going to be a Q&A. So I see you. I see you too. It'll be alright, don't feed the creeper.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, just a heads up, right behind the crowd. There's a huge...
Yes. Yeah, we're going to start speaking.
They have a little bit longer. You want to come to school, a giant robot. Come check it out. 3D Glue.
Should I try and go up against the... Come up. You have to answer someone. Have you tried leveling the bed? Oh, no. I'm going to trigger everybody. I don't know. I just work here. What do I know? But I am going to hand off the phone on a little bit here. So we'll still be doing live, but I'm going to hand it to Cold Star. He's my cameraman for this and the other panel. So, oh, there's Joel. He made it. We're waiting on Ellie. Liz is. They're both outside here. There they are. All right, we're going to turn this around, and I'm going to give you guys to Cold Star.
I get the keys now? Oh, I wasn't giving him a thumbs up.
Consider that good. Yes. It's a downgrade. Or at least a side grade.
I've never streamed. So I've never seen that. Gosh. It's weird.
grab that couch off the street.
I mean,
I would talk about the person listening. Justin would do it.
yeah.
I've seen worse couches.
Is it?
It's just that one's just well worn.
They should have got a black leather couch.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Put
this
the
is
white
your
screen behind it.
for the super panel in your Maker Lounge. If you've not been over there yet, go to the South Hall, off the black curtain out there yet. We got awesome makers, a huge panel. We'll see you there.
Thank you, I'll be here all night. Are we supposed to hang out over there? I mean, it's half and half right now, so you're not wrong. I haven't been over there yet. Did you see our smoke out news fight?
Oh, no.
I saw it, but not.
You don't know who's moderating
Walk
this.
by.
We're not staying. We're doing wrestling.
We made a high five. Actually, I'm being me now.
Got some waters for you? Yes.
I got mine. That's why I brought it.
They're bringing it down.
Naturally great. We have talked about that. Getting milk. A little canned stuff. Yeah. Canned milk. There you go. You know, I used to have fantastic stuff that says chocolate. That, you know, wait, where did I go? Have to talk more than a ball. Worth it. Every single time. Yes, I did. That's how we keep going, man.
So, everyone knows that person. That is Ellie from Cocoa Press, right? Joel Telling, Pez, right?
Yeah, Pezliz.
And Edge of Tech. And I think that's everyone doing this podcast.
I know Grant will be here too.
Oh, and Grant from
3D Musketeers.
Oh, 3D Musketeers Grant.
Is he supposed to be on there?
Did they switch?
Oh,
No.
he's at work.
Oh. And Grant.
There you go.
Grant.
We got some arms. We'll have somebody draped across the back.
Ladies and gentlemen, last call. We have an awesome panel going on in the Maker's Lounge. Find the South Hall. Find the black curtained up area.
It's all the things.
It doesn't work over here.
Oh, and is Pooch doing this? I know, but I'm one.
No,
Because he would be another person I could see in
All
this.
right, how we doing? We doing good? We're just gonna check everybody here. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check.
Good? Good?
Ladies and gentlemen, how we doing today? That's like a 7 o'clock. Woo. We have an awesome panel. I said, how we doing today? My name's Jim. I'm with the Edge of Tech. I'm the MC of the weekend. You probably heard me blabbing over the intercom all weekend. But we are not here for me. We're here for 5 awesome people in the makers community. We're going to bring them up on the stage one at a time in order that you're standing. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Akumamans. Matt did an awesome talk yesterday about resin safety. Probably the only one of us on the panel who's had resin in his eyes.
That's right.
That's true.
Wear your PPE.
Next in line, the woman of chocolate, ladies and gentlemen, Ellie of Cocoa Press. Weighing in at 683,000 subs. I don't know, I'm just making that number up right now. Ladies and gentlemen, no introduction needed. 3D printing nerd Joel Telly. I was gonna do intro music and then everybody screaming. It's like, please don't, please don't. Right behind her, one of the awesome people of 3D printing. You see her in all the streams, all the cool stuff. Half of the Zombie Hedgehog crew. Yeah, Z and Z, we'll call it. Ladies and gentlemen, Pezliz! And the only Musketeer in the crowd today. Put your hands together for Grant! All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to pass the microphones out. We're going to make sure we're turned on. One on each side.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick. We'll fix your audio. Remember to swallow the mic, please. Hello. We're going to come do some questions, I promise. If I hand the mic to you, up to your face.
Don't do this because I won't hear you.
Cool?
Gotcha.
Exactly. Real quick. Let's start with Ellie. 30-second pitch. Who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you?
All good questions. I'm Ellie Rose, founder and CEO of Cocoa Press. I make 3D chocolate printers, and someone pointed out that it has been 9.5 years since I started making 3D chocolate printers. So I'm a little bit obsessed with it. You know what? Sales pitch. I have chocolate printer kits that you can take home today.
How many are left?
Also samples. You should come by and eat chocolate because we still have a lot of leftovers.
How many printers are left?
I have built a Cocoa Press.
We have 7 printers left. Okay.
So my name is Liz, otherwise known as Pezliz. I have been streaming for almost a year now, doing content on Twitch. And with Twitch, I have been, oh, it's not loud enough. Louder, louder, louder. There we go. Right there. Okay, so I'm Liz, otherwise known as Pezliz. I do 3D printing content on Twitch, sharing what I'm printing, what people are making. Sometimes I design things. Once a week, I have a show with Polymaker called In Printing Color, where I share all the different projects I'm doing with Polymaker filament and how beautiful it is. Hashtag sponsored. I also help run a 24/7 Twitch stream called MakerDeck, which is makers and crafters from all over the world. Sometimes it's bamboo deck, so if you don't have a bamboo and you want to prove that your printer is wonderful too, get yourself on MakerDeck.
What about Positron Deck?
Hi everybody, I'm Joel, host of 3D Printing Nerd, a channel where we aim to educate and inspire, all while having a really good time. We attempt to showcase the wonders of additive manufacturing from the consumer side all the way to the industrial side and everywhere in between. I give lots of high fives and thank you for being here.
My name is Grant. I am the owner of 3D Musketeers. We've been in business since 2016 doing 3D printing, 3D scanning, CNC milling, and laser cutting. We make stuff. We decided a few years back to start a YouTube channel, and for some reason I'm now on a panel. About 42,000 subscribers later, we just like to show off what we do and help inspire those of you with 3D printers to go from just making stuff at home to making stuff to make money. So that's what we like to do, and if you're in the Tampa Bay area, or if you're here and you want to play with a really expensive 3D scanner, come find me afterwards, and we'll break it out. You guys can have some fun.
Hello everyone, I am Matt from Akuma Mods, and basically I run a 3D printing group on Facebook. I help people get into 3D printing and teach them how to do things, try and get them through the trials and tribulations of, you know, mostly Creality, but we've all been there with all our machines. But I am also known on the other side as the resin 3D printing god. I do a lot of resin printing, a lot of stuff with that, either on the industrial side or on the makerspace side. So that's what I do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our panel. If you have a question, let me know. I'm going to be standing farther up this way right now. But first, I want to ask you something. We're going to start with Liz. Do you remember the first thing you ever printed?
The first thing I ever printed, oh my goodness. That's a really good question. Oh, it was one of those little cats, you know, like the ones that are in the, yeah, one of those, yeah, a little cat, yeah.
What year was it?
2022. I'm new to this, very new to this, so yeah, and I haven't stopped though, so yeah. What about you, Ellie?
My first 3D print was on a original MakerBot replicator in 2013, I think. And it was a part I actually designed in Inventor, a mount for a quadcopter motor that I was working on. The quadcopter is still in my high school, hanging from the ceiling, so whenever I go back and visit, I'm like, wow, I remember when that thing fell 50 feet because I didn't screw a propeller in.
For me, well, first of all, that's a flex for a first 3D print. My goodness, jeez. My first 3D print was a two-color traffic cone, Christmas night of 2014 in ABS on a Flashforge Creator Pro. Man, yours is so much cooler.
So my first print was actually, it's probably 2018, and it was on a Creality Under 3. It was a Flexi Rexy. Great print.
I guess that makes me the OG because my first 3D print was late 2008, early 2009, and it was a 3D printer because I built the printer out of wood, and I live in Florida, and that means it's not going to hold tolerance at all. So you built the printer out of wood, then you printed the plastic parts for the printer, you then disassembled it, and then made your 3D printer out of plastic. That's how we used to do it. It was jank.
It was Florida.
Awesome. So we have a question in the back here.
Hey guys. Hello. Hello everybody. I just got to know, what is some upcoming material or tech that you are really pumped about?
Yeah. All right. The upcoming material that I'm excited for on the filament side is going to be Ultem. More people, more machines getting into the high temp stuff. Polyether imide, otherwise known as the material that your build plate is probably made out of. You can print it. You just need a very, very high-end build of a 3D printer. That price is starting to come down, and I'm excited for it. On the industrial side, niobium. It's a material that is used in aerospace to make rocket engines. Yeah, I'm excited for this.
I think that's a fake word, niobium.
I think that one of the really cool pieces of tech coming is going to be the advent of less expensive sintering. Micronix 3D with their machine coming, hopefully to my studio this summer. We're talking about something sub $5,000 that can actually sinter nylon as good as a 5-figure machine, and that's a home-based business opportunity if I've ever heard of one.
That was mine too.
Yeah! I deliberately didn't do that because I knew the others would have it too.
I'm excited to see the continuing improvement of the consumer level 3D printers. I think that with all the stuff that's come out in the last couple of years, it's raised the bar for even those, you know, copycat printers and everything. We're seeing a lot better quality, which means less waste, and that's pretty fun. As for material, I am on the awesome squad for Polymaker, which means we get to see things, we get to preview things before they come out, and there's some really, really cool stuff coming very soon. Colors that would make you want to cry, because they're so beautiful.
All right, we got to know what's new in chocolate. What's coming up? Upcoming tech in chocolate. Is it announced yet?
I mean, in terms of Cocoa Press, we're working on a lot of fun stuff. You know, fully assembled professional package, an external heater, Cocoa Buddy, so that it's easier to like swap cores and make multicolor things. I said this on Grant's interview earlier, but my hope is to make an IDEX or tool changing printer to auction off at the Sanjay Mortimer.
You promised me. You're saying no. You promised me.
I did say it was an exclusive. I'm sorry. But no, I'm hoping to make an IDEX thing. And specifically, why I want to do it is I think that with chocolate and 3D printing, you can do really cool things with different textures that are not possible to make with traditional chocolate making techniques like gyroid infill, which Joel can tell you, it tastes best.
It's the tastiest infill.
It's the tastiest infill. But what I think will be exciting is once we start getting more multi-tool things, like the, I've forgotten the name of it so many times, Zombies Tool Changer, but the Voron one. I think it'll be fun because we'll start to see the same thing with flavors, being able to combine flavors in ways that are just not possible currently to do in small scales without specialized equipment. So I'm really excited about that in chocolate, in food. And not to mention just bringing 3D printing to new markets that, you know, there's so many benefits to manufacturing that 3D printing has brought to the manufacturing space. But that hasn't hit food industries, it hasn't hit other industries. So I'm really excited to kind of see where that brings us.
Awesome. Last but not least, the resin 3D printing god. What's new in resin?
So really the adaptation of new materials coming to resin printing, there's a lot of different stuff that's happening in the 3D printing community. A lot of stuff, unfortunately, I can't really say, but I'm really excited about the new materials that are coming out to make it even more available to people that are looking for less brittle products and, you know, more strength and structural industrial stuff. That is really, really nice. But the thing that I'm really most excited about, you know, it's not so much material or printers or anything, is, you know, the new upcoming generation of makers. You know, everybody brings a new idea to the table, and I think that's, out of anything, is what I'm more excited about for the next upcoming years.
Awesome. So we have a question from the crowd. Kensington is here. You ready?
How did you get into 3D printing?
I was in a high school class, and it really started for me as a tool to accomplish something. It was very much a, hey, I want to build this quadcopter, because we had a lot of random like carbon fiber tubes and stuff. And so it really was just, I want to do this. What's the best way to do this? Whoa, you mean I can 3D print something and it will be exactly how I want it to be? And so I like to focus a lot on the practical prints side of things, but they're often a lot less interesting to show off, which makes it complicated.
So for me, what got me into 3D printing is my whole name is Akuma Mods, and what brought that into fruition is I used to deal with retro gaming system, Raspberry Pi stuff back in the day before I did 3D printing, and I started seeing a lot of people doing modifications to retro gaming systems and retro Pi stuff and all kinds of stuff that you can do with the Raspberry Pi community, and the ability to 3D print, you know, your own cases, your own systems, whatever it is, robotics, you name it. And I saw that and I was like, this is really cool. This is something that I can get into, and pretty much that's what happened, and went down the rabbit hole, and here I am now.
I was gifted a 3D printer by the one and only Fix'em Dude.
Fix'em Dude!
And Krusty 3D. Yes. So they are actually my 3D printing dads, I like to call them, because they've guided me through the whole experience. So that was February of 2022, Focus Odin 5. It has now gone on to greener pastures. It's still printing, but yeah, and so they gave me the printer. I started printing. A couple months later, we actually, with Chris Perillo, we started MakerDeck, and then I was printing 24/7. So then my interest in the hobby grew even more. The more I got to know the community too, all the designers that we have. I actually knew Joel before, but that's a bonus. And I've stayed in 3D printing because, not just because of what I make, but because of the people.
It was 2012, 2013. I was watching videos from Barnacules Nerdgasm and Thomas Sandladerer, and I was seeing 3D printing on Engadget and Slashdot, and I always wanted one, but I didn't have the budget for it, and my wife said, no, we're not getting one yet. And so Christmas of 2014, I opened up a giant box under the tree, and it was a FlashForge Creator Pro. So I was always interested in 3D printing, but that was my first machine, and that's what really got me into it. Because by the third day, it was by the night of December 27th, I remember I was up late at night. I had bought Simplified 3D, and I figured out how to use Photoshop to do 3D models because I wanted to make money, and I made 3D printable cookie cutters. And because I worked at Adobe, so I had free access to Photoshop. And so that's what really got me into the hobby, was my wife and kids buying a FlashForge Creator Pro off Amazon and putting it under the tree. And I'm really thankful they did that.
Like many of you here, I've been a geek my entire life. I have a desire to take things apart and hopefully not have spare parts when they go back together. And if they are there for weight savings and aerodynamics, and I refuse to accept any other answers for that. But not really being the most mechanically inclined individual, I can't weld, and power tools are probably not the safest thing for a 18-year-old to be playing with. So 3D printing just kind of made sense. I decided to go down this RepRap project, this thing I never heard of before, with a couple of guys that were hanging out in a Google Plus group. That will date it a little bit. But I just wanted to be able to take what I could think up here and put it into my hands. And now it's getting so much easier, and that's where the passion comes from, to stay in this industry. Because it is awesome to see everybody here in the audience who likely has a very similar reason, but are also at the same time unique to each other.
Right. You want more? One more?
Can I get a high five from Joel?
Yeah, you can.
Do it! Joel, Jesus. Literally dropping the mic.
Oh, hey,
Wait, there's one more. Joe, you're not done? There we go.
All right. We're just going to, come on.
All right, there we go. High fives for everybody.
Only 7 seconds when I get
Awesome. All right, we got another one over here.
Yo, so you've already talked about what you can see in the future, what you're excited about. I want to know about the technologies that are going to surprise people. So people see HueForge came out of nowhere and exploded. It's a really innovative technique that everyone is shocked how it works, is shocked how good it works. Have you seen anything here, or feel free to put your science fiction hats on, that you think is really going to just shock people? That is a technique that is available now, right? Everyone knows why a sub $5,000 powder-based nylon centering printer is going to be awesome. But is there anything that you're like, that's it, that's going to explode in like a couple of years?
I can tell you real quick. I saw the flying gantry. I want that to take off, literally. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, there's literally a flying gantry on drone motors over there. So.
What I'm really enjoying seeing now is how people are able to make actual production quality prints at home. So they've got, of course, we've got the Prusa XL and the Prusa Mark IV, which can be tuned in to print beautiful things. I have had an amazing experience with my bamboo. A lot of people I'm seeing doing like I call it the face plant prints. So you use the texture of the build plate to make beautiful things. We have people, one of my friends, Tisha, he started a business making light boxes because he's from home on his bamboos. And if you saw a lot of the maker coins, the maker chips, that's something Joe Mike, we love Joe Mike. Joe Mike and K2 Kevin, they designed that, in place of the maker coin, so it's a maker chip, but the quality of those, and that people are able to design that from home, that excites me.
Okay. So for me, really, like I said, I dabble more on the industrial side from time to time, and one of the things that I think is going to really take off in the next couple of years is the fact that we're getting to the point that we can essentially replicate parts of ourselves. It sounds a little strange saying it, but like replicating a heartbeat and a heart and valves and things like that. medical field specifically, I think is going to blow up in the next couple of years. Very, very good. And I just can't wait to see all of the cool technology that they can come up with to essentially save people's lives. That to me, I think, is above and beyond anything that I've seen out of the makerspace. So.
Cool. All right, we got a question right over here. This young gentleman. Oh,
No, it's fine.
jump in there. You looked on the side like you were done, so go ahead.
I didn't want to speak over Ellie, you know. As someone with herniated discs, please, can we get that one figured out from the medical field, please? That'd be great. And pancreas, that's the other big one. So that could effectively just cure type 1 diabetes like that. That'd be awesome. I think Micronics is going to kind of lead that way of whether or not powder is going to be playing a serious role in the prosumer, light commercial, space for 3D printing. I would say 2024 is probably the year of multicolor. I mean, go look at the HuForge booth. I mean, honestly, it blows my mind that that's done with filament, right? And that is some amazing tech that we're seeing. As we get better with slicing, these machines are going to get a lot closer to a bona fide microwave where it's click button, get part. That's where I think we're moving. That's what I'm excited about.
Just to add on to that, I'm a mechanical engineer, so I hate to admit this, but I think a lot of the future of making 3D printing better and easier is in software. Certainly materials as well, but I really think software, there's so much to do with that. But the mechanical engineering side of me says it's all hardware.
All right, we got a question right here.
Hi, my name is Nicholas. My question is, so you just talked about the future of 3D printing and 3D printer being a microwave. So back in like maybe 8 years ago, MakerBot dream was to put a 3D printer in every home, right? My question is, do you think that's still the future of 3D printing, to put a 3D printer in every home? If yes, what do you think is the biggest barrier at the moment? If no, what do you think is the new new future of 3D printing?
I like this question because we have the ability to look at the past and see what MakerBot was talking about and trying to put a 3D printer in every home, and there is no way that MakerBot envisioned it to be this company from China with DJI employees who formed it making this silver box, because that's astounding. There's no way that they had that foresight to see it was fast machines, it was colorful machines, it was robust machines, it was high quality machines. And so the question now, though, knowing what we have as our history, it's like, what is it still going to be a part of every home? Well, I think so in a way, but I'm willing to bet that if we look at the next 8 years, what's going to happen then is not going to look like what it's like today. Because when we talk about 3D printers and putting it in every home, we have to contextualize it with kind of what's available today or what we kind of see kind of coming down the roadmap. But I think 8 years from now, there's going to be some incredible things that we can't even think about that haven't been invented yet that are going to be rad and in people's homes. That's kind of where my vision is.
I have to agree with Joel, because we're not as close as people think, right? And Ellie is correct. It's software, and it's also education. We have machines, the bamboo, and they work. And for a lot of you, they've worked amazing. But if you've ever had to service them, you might realize it's built like an appliance. And so once they're also software compatible, like an appliance, where it's, okay, I want to make that, and I don't have to use a slicer. Or the MakerWorld is very similar to this, where they can print directly from MakerWorld. That is moving toward that in every single home. At the same time, they also have to be quiet, because there's a spouse or other individual approval factor that you must pass. Because if you can't do that, it ain't going in the home. And when it comes to resin, it's the smell test.
God, I feel triggered. So one of the things I worry about is, the fall of man. No. It's kind of funny that you mentioned that. We kind of joke around. I have one of the resin printers in my print farm, and we have themed it the microwave, essentially, because that's what it looks like. And it's funny that you say that because, I kind of see that happening down the line where, we're talking about growth and technology, and I see at some point we're going to have a system where, let's say you have a part that you need redesigned, replicated essentially, and you have a 3D scanner that's built into these printers essentially, and you just put that in there, it scans it, and it prints it out right there for you. And obviously there's still some trials and tribulation. Not everybody's going to be able to use a 3D printer right out of the gate. I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now, and I think it's more or less a lot of people just don't know about the technology advancements that have come over the couple of years even of 3D printing, where it's more user-friendly. We've seen that. So I think we're going in a right direction for that. I think MakerBot had a good idea about it, maybe a little bit further down the road than what they expected, but I see that coming to fruition, Think of like Star Trek back in the day, the replicator, as I said, that I see that coming down the line at some point. Probably in the distant future, but maybe not that far distant, because technology, as we know, is insanely fast growing community. And I mean, you couldn't even think about most of the stuff 10 years ago, 5 years ago even, that we do now. So I think we're in a good position to call that a good future project and not so far.
Yeah, I tend to agree, and I think that going along with what Grant said, if people are going to have, if everyone's going to have a 3D printer in their home, first of all, we have to think about purpose. So what would you be doing with that? If it is to like print a replacement part for your washing machine, but what else are you going to do with it the rest of the time? And I think the other thing that a lot of you have been in the space for a long time. I've only been in 2 years, but I started with the Focus and the glass plate and all those problems. Even with the bamboo, as perfect as it might be, 3D printing 101 is still something that takes time. Learning about all the different 3D printing materials, what their uses are. I mean, you still have to fully educate yourself. So to just plop a printer in someone's house still takes a lot of time and learning. So I don't think it's quite perfect yet, because people don't always, especially if you have something like a bamboo, you think it's going to be easy, so you don't know how to look for the solutions, and that's where you have, thank you Facebook Marketplace for some of these people, they get to rescue them. But yeah, I think education and learning the purpose and learning slicers, learning how to print, that's still a big barrier.
I gotta add, one of the steps to having one, like an appliance, like we're talking about, like a microwave, right, is the fact that I don't care how my microwave works. I put food in it, it cooks, I get the food. If it breaks, I call somebody or get a new one. So I think knowing how to fix them is great, but the new generation, we're going the other way, because you don't have to know that to start printing. It's awesome to bring them into the community, but then you have to go do your research to learn when your nozzle's clogged. What do you do? That kind of thing. So if anyone wants to teach me how to fix a microwave, I'm in.
I'm a huge fan of good technology should disappear.
We have one right here.
Hey, this is actually my first time in one of these. It's awesome. I love all you guys. Watch you all. So I don't want to make anybody cringe with this question, because I know it's kind of gimmicky, but where do you see like AI being integrated, like above and beyond like where it is right now? And whether you think it's effective now, do you think it'll help like bring more printers into homes, things like that?
I think I see AI being integrated into 3D printing in a couple of different places. One is what is the Getty detective called these days? A Beco. I get a Beco and Opio confused sometimes. A Beco, which is a camera that can tell if your print has failed. And from a hardware perspective, that's really inexpensive. It's a camera, and there's so much that we'll be able to do with inexpensive hardware that I think AI will be used in some ways to train things like that and figure out different failure modes, figure out how to, I want to see more of fixing settings on the fly. So something we've been talking about at CocoaPress, and this is not coming anytime soon, this is not like a thing, but it's like, what if I could just put any chocolate in there and it could calibrate itself to the temperature by looking at what does the output look like on the camera? What does the forces look like on the motor? I think, and I see AI as ways to collect a lot of that data and train it. The other side of that is in the 3D printing models. I think one of the biggest changes since I started working with printers, there are so many talented designers that know how to design for 3D printing in an incredible way, designed for additive manufacturing, right? And I think with AI, we'll see more, I'm not even talking about fully AI generated models, but helping in some sort of way. Instead of defining a spline, it'll be like, hey, make this, more round or whatever, I don't know, and it will be able to just assist really talented designers to do their work faster and make cooler things. Those are the two things I see. Have a nice day!
Have you all seen that TikTok or Instagram reel or whatever, that one guy that said, he talked to, I think it was ChatGPT, and said, I need a cylinder with this sort of hole in it, this size, and then it made the model and it imported it into a bamboo slicer, I think, and they print out stuff like that. Like that's I love that part of AI. I think that's amazing, and I think that being able to solve simple geometry problems is going to introduce more people into CAD environments where they can then be like, oh, maybe it isn't that hard, or at least get them a base to change and play with. And then we will have more designers doing really cool stuff with more models that do really cool stuff. That's where, AI is obviously going to kill us all, but before it does, it's going to make some really simple, cool 3D models.
And it's not really AI, it's large language models, okay? But yes, that TikTok, Instagram, or whatever, that is really kind of where we're at. But there's the piece in there that you have to know how to use Python and OpenSCAD. And if you don't know how to do that whole process doesn't work. If you ask ChatGPT or any of the other LLMs to make you a model, like an STL model, they're not very good at it currently. As the training gets better, as their model base gets larger, we will likely see it get considerably better. But as we've seen for AI art, like in the 2D space, right, everyone thought that the general graphic designer, someone who could design things by drawing it out, was going to be a lost wage. Now we're seeing it's coming back because AI is not as good as people thought it was going to be. We might see something similar in this industry, only time will tell, obviously. But I don't think I'd be putting, a ton of effort and energy into learning AI and how to do LLMs and that kind of thing versus Fusion, Inventor, ZBrush, Tinkercad, or any of the others. I think the practical skills will get you a lot farther. I think that probably learning how to do LLMs and all that might take a little bit less time than learning to be proficient in something like ZBrush.
Yeah, and I agree on all points. One of the main things that I always think about when it comes to AI is, I'm very new to the model designing stuff. I've done basic shapes, things that I more or less need. Nothing really organic, meaning like a person, a model, anything like that. So can you imagine the possibilities that it gives somebody who has that thought process but doesn't have the physical ability to put it onto paper? Like, I have a physical disconnection at that point. My ability to draw something is a stick figure, essentially, okay? Most of you could probably relate with that. Can you imagine if you just said to something, hey, I have this crazy idea to make like a wolf howling at the moon in a dark setting, and it spits it out for you, and you can even have it designed that way, or picture, whatever it may be. That is fantastic. It is a really, really great side. But I also know that there's always the bad side of AI technology. You know, a lot of people think it's going to put them out to work, and Graham made a good point. You know, it's bringing back some stuff. So while yes, it may take out one side of it, it brings a new possibility for another part. So I think that's really something to more or less look about, and not so much dog on the bad side of it, because there's always going to be a plus no matter if there's a bad side, in my opinion. So I think AI is a great technology to come. I think it's going to still be major improvements over the time, and it's actually improved quite a bit over the short time that it's even been here. So I'm all for it, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a great additive to the future, and additive to the maker space, and really anything in the world, to be honest.
Awesome. I'm with you. My ability as a stick figure is, even that's limited. My 4-year-old draws better than I do right now. So we got another one right here. Probably last crowd question, and then I have one to wrap it up.
So if you're looking to expand your skill set, and you've been mainly doing FDM training and whatnot, living and doing resin stuff, what would you look for doing the resin side of 3D printing? Or is it better to focus on doing stuff like the viewport stuff, for more of the software side of the FDM, and explore the possibilities for that?
That's a really good question. So for me, to kind of do an improvement on what I need, I kind of look and take a step back as a whole, and I see what my needs are. So obviously, you know, filament printing and resin printing, they're two different sides. There's different materials that you need and what you can use with them. So it really is going to be based on project to project, you know? And the same thing with the software side. Not all softwares are created equal. We all know this. We have different slicers, different CAD softwares, all kinds of stuff. So some software may do some good edges on this side, but the other software doesn't. So you really have to think about the project that you're really working on, and kind of base it off of that, and then go and search that material or information that you kind of need to get you that project working and getting it going in the right direction.
I think one thing that a lot of people need to realize is don't always be racing for the next new thing. A really good skill to have is making the best use out of what you have. So really tune in if you have an ender that you bought at Micro Center for $99. That's how you learn, and that's how you really, you learn more about 3D printing. Tune that thing in so it prints so beautifully that you don't actually want to get rid of it. Learn about all the different ways to use supports and work in your slicer, play with infill, play with all those sorts of things. And if you're doing CAD, start out small. You don't have to go into like the best software right away. One thing that was extremely helpful to me was watching content. So you'll have, Joel do a video, or Grant does an interview with someone, or he has his Fail Friday. And that's the way you learn, by consuming that content. Even listen to the podcast. There's all sorts of different things, and you pick things up along the way. And I think that's like to make it your best experience too.
Do we have to give an obligatory like and subscribe? Is that required? Yeah? Okay.
No, I want a hype train. Yeah, hype train. Let's start a hype train. I'm on Twitch.
Ooh, this is in person. How does that work in person? Will you eat bean boozles this time?
Are you still doing Fail Friday?
It's Print Fix Friday.
Print Fix Friday.
It's been like that for almost 3 years.
We renamed it Fail Friday.
Heather likes to give me crap about the channel. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I would say that it is very hyper-specific for what you are looking to do. If you're looking to go into business and look to make money with your machines, a lot of people do. Well, learning how to design is probably quite high up on that list. Because if you ever tried to hire a decent CAD designer, they're not cheap. And the ones that you can get on Fiverr or Upwork or whatever could be very hit or miss. Often, when it comes down to it, what's the last line of defense? It's you. So if you have even basic skills in CAD software, great. That can get you started and moving along. But if you don't know how to run the slicers, start there. You have to really figure out where you are standing, what your goal is, set that lofty goal, but set these small ones in between. That way you're not just constantly slogging to get to that goal. Get that dopamine kick every now and then so you can hit that good goal that you're going after. And that goes for everybody. If you want to get somewhere, set the small goals. They're much easier to hit. Have the real one, the big one that you're going after. And if you need to move the goalposts, go ahead. It worked for the United States in the space race, so why can't it work for you?
Anybody else? Anybody else? You good? All right, we get a few more minutes, so I have a tough one. A real tough one. We are here at the Rocky Mountain RepRap Festival, and thank you all for being here, because without you guys, none of us are possible, right? So our channels, our social media, anything is all because of you. So thank you guys so much for being here. But I'm going to put you on the spot. One booth or one item here at the show that these guys have to go check out when we're done. What will it be?
If you don't say backpack
one from
printer.
each of you. You have to call one out. You can't go generic. You have to call a booth or an item out, or a couple. You can do a couple, but send the crowd over to certain booths or certain things that you really liked at the show.
Zombies Tool Changer, the Boron one, Stealth Changer. That's the name. So right over here, love the color scheme. I think it is really cool. Just seeing the progress from the E3D Tool Changer mechanism to the Prusa XL, and now to this, how we are making it simpler and simpler. But wow, is it going to be really cool when this technology is just as inexpensive as everything else. Not that it has to be a business thing, it's also just really pretty and fun. Go check it out, over there.
I was going to say zombies, because that's where all my stuff is too. But speaking of Coco Press, but the Positron is over at the LDO Motors. And I also want to give like a super shout out. I think we all love Jason from LDO. He is so incredibly generous. He doesn't care what size audience people have. He's always willing to contribute to people's projects. And he is one of the heart and soul of the community. So LDO.
Wait. If anyone didn't know what a positron was, it prints upside down. You got to check it out. It's cool.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention the video game I wrote last night that you have to come to my booth and check out. It's in this hall, right? It's in this hall? Yeah, it's over there. It's over there. It's just come by the booth. It's really simple. It's competitive. It's fun. And after you see that, go look at the flying gantry machine that has the drone motors like holding the gantry, because that's cool.
It's rough that you make us just pick one. I want to be clear about that. Oh, you said a couple? I did hear a couple. Yeah, that's true. I'm an audio guy, so the deposition sound guys are going to be one that I'm going to send people to, because that's always great. But if you haven't seen Hendrik, he's here. The electroplating of 3D prints and the mirror freaking finish on those parts. It's nuts. It's nuts. Go check those out. They're both like within a couple of rows of each other, and then you can keep going down and get to Joel's too.
So yeah, I have a couple of them. Really, my top four, I'd say, obviously, is the Coco Press for sure, because I like more or less the different stuff that's out there. You know, the out of the norm. You know, not so much 3D printing. But with that, there's also the LDO motors with the Positron. That's a really cool project that's been going crazy with updates and looking fantastic.
And it fits in a spool box.
Exactly. That was one of the cool things that like instantly draw me to it. I was like, you can fit this in here.
I think Positron just put the base of the printer on the wrong side, honestly. I think it's a regular printer. All right, this is tinfoil hat for a second. All right? I think it's a regular 3D printer that they just put the base on it on the wrong side, and then they just said, forget it. We're going to roll with it. All right? And anytime that you guys see Nomad, he's the guy wearing the Positron shirt, I want you to tell him that. We need to troll him, okay? All right? Do we have agreement? Agreement? Thank you.
All right. All right.
All right, wait. I got
Oh, you got two more?
Two more. Maybe like 3 more.
We need some wrap it up music.
So yeah, we're wrapping up. So I got Heinrich again. Yeah, that one was really cool with the electroplating. Awesome stuff. It's cool to see that. Like total out of the box. Like you never would have thought about it. You know, insane stuff. And then there's another one, and it slipped my mind, but it's a Swiss company right by Wham Bam here. They have a new style hot end. That's what is it? 3DC. Check them out. They have a really cool hot end design that I think is really going to change some things. And yeah, in terms of like how you deal with clogs or how you need to change things out, it's like 6 seconds to change a hot end. It is the most insane thing I've ever seen. Cool technology. That's my one.
All right, awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was our panel. We are officially out of time. I've been like, but I want to thank you guys for being here and taking the questions. I really want to thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
We have some really cool stuff to check out in the rest of the hall. We have IC3D giving away like a 10-kilogram spool of filament right soon after this. And then Deposition Sound is giving some stuff away right after that. And then also drag racers outside if you want to see some destruction. So ladies and gentlemen, one more time for our panel. Put your hands together. Thank you guys.
Selfie all together?
Let's do it.
Well, wait, we gotta get the crowd. But first, let's take a selfie. Oh, we should. Selfie.
Now get seated. You want us on the couch? What kind of couch is this?
How do you stop alive?
It's up here, but just like. It's up in the corner. It's the power button, but just. Okay. Because hilarity is ensuing.
That could be terrifying. Oh. I hope it was under our It's actually pretty good on my back, I'll be honest.
You get up there. I think Matt's doing the talking. Alright, Matt. How do you want to get off so you don't fall and hurt yourself?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Everyone stand up on the count of 3. There it is.
Oh, Matt's doing it.
All right, let him do his outro.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
How'd you both drinking? Yeah, you were staring off into space.
Sorry,
That's actually pretty comfy.
Oh, you want us to sign this?
Yeah, just you.
Oh.
Everyone else has.
Just me. All right, let's find a spot here. Oh my goodness. We're limited on space. All right, guys, I gotta let you go. Thank you for chit-chatting and staying, guys.
Well, I'm really glad I got to see it.